welcome back to Virtual Coffee. My name is Alexa Collier, and on this podcast, I chat with small business owners. We discuss their journeys, perspectives, pieces of advice. Now, with me today are the founders and owners of Raleigh Popsicle Co, Nikki and Cristhian. They're almost 1 year into their business, and they already have 3 locations in the Raleigh area. They sell handmade popsicles made with fresh fruit, and they are a perfect, refreshing treat. On this episode, we discuss their journey over the past year and how they navigate running a business as a married couple. Now, before we hear from them, as always, I'd appreciate if you could rate and review Virtual Coffee on the Apple Podcasts app and on Spotify. Just helps others discover us. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, all the social medias. It's at Virtual Coffee Podcast. Thank you so much for your support and tuning in. And now let's hear from Nikki and Cristhian. Welcome, Cristhian and Nikki. Thank you so much for being on Virtual Coffee.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm really happy to have you guys here. So let's just kick off this episode. Tell me about your company, Raleigh Popsicle Co., perhaps about its mission or how the business came to be. Just tell us a little bit about it.
So what we have is the Hispanic style fresh fruit popsicles. It kind of started, my husband, he's from Colombia, South America. So he's pretty familiar with them. And he's had the idea for a while to have a shop like this. And he had the idea even long before we met. And he decided, I guess, that I was the right person to share the idea with. And we kind of started doing some research and everything and just kind of decided we were going to go for it. But like the idea, I guess the mission, the idea was to share the primarily Hispanic treat with everybody. You know, of course, you can go to the grocery store and find popsicles for like $5 a box. But I guess kind of that's really what our mission was to provide an alternative to all those unhealthy, preservative-filled treats. And, you know, our popsicles are handcrafted locally and made with fresh fruit and restocked every week. We're not going to say that they're sugar-free or anything because that's just not possible because fruit's very inconsistent. So we add enough sugar to, you know, compensate for fruit not always being sweet enough. But otherwise, you know, it's a healthy alternative.
I love that this was an idea that, Cristhian, you had for a while and finally it came to be. I love when you can realize your dreams or you have an idea and it becomes a reality. That's really awesome. I'd love to, you know, for you to dive into the difference between that grocery store popsicle and your popsicle. So like if you can describe one of the popsicles or the flavors you have or what makes them different.
Okay, so we have dairy and non-dairy, and the dairy ones are going to basically have like an ice cream base. And then like, for example, strawberry cream has slices of strawberries in it. We have an orange cream that instead of being like chunks or slices of fruit, it's actually like an orange puree and then has cream in the middle and has an orange slice on the side. We also have one that's blackberry cheesecake, similar to the orange cream. It's a puree of blackberry with the cheesecake type filling in the middle. And then the non-dairy are water-based. Okay. And with those, you've got like pineapple, mango, and watermelon all have actual chunks of fruit in them. And mixed fruit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, mixed fruit has pineapple, mango, watermelon, and cucumber and pear, and it's in an orange juice base. And then you've got a couple others of the water base that instead of being chunks, they're a puree of the fruit. But it's actually the fruit, like strawberry, you eat it, it's fresh strawberries.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, how refreshing. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty much delicious. What everybody says.
Yeah, that just sounds so nice to have. I'm craving one right now. Who comes up with these flavor ideas? Is it a team effort or one person primarily has that creative mind?
Pretty much everything is a team effort. Because, I mean, like we even have, like in July, we decided to try having like a flavor of the month. And we came up with, I think we did like a little contest on Instagram to help us come up with it. But we ended up we called it the American Dreamsicle. And it was strawberry and cream stripes with blueberry on top.
Wow.
we thought about doing like a flavor of the month every month, but it just doesn't work out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have like some flavors that we try and don't like it and decide not to do it. So
Sure.
yeah, it's definitely a team effort.
That's great to hear. Do you guys eat popsicles like every day? I can imagine the taste test requires a lot of popsicles.
Yeah, I eat a popsicle every day. I have my favorite is mango and strawberry and cream. So if I don't get the small one, I get the regular size. But I have to get a
Yeah.
popsicle every day.
Yeah, we have mini ones and full size.
Okay.
So
Nice. What a
both
fun
get
job.
one something.
Yeah, that's funny. That's awesome. And I know you guys are in the Raleigh area, clearly. Where can people taste your popsicles? Where are you guys located? Where can they find you?
We have one shop. Our first shop was at Crabtree Mall. We're still there. We have one at Morgan Street Food Hall, which is in downtown Raleigh. And we have one at Streets at South Point in Durham. During our season, the spring, summer, and fall, we're regular vendors at Phillips Farm in Cary. And if anybody's not familiar with them, they can find them on Instagram also. And then we are trying specifically this year, just because it'll be our second year in business, we're trying to do more events and festivals and stuff. Like last year, we did the NC Seafood Festival in Morehead City.
Mm-hmm.
And at that festival, we found out about Mumfest in New Bern. So we plan on being there this year too.
Congratulations on all those locations. What an accomplishment, especially only 2 years in. That's pretty crazy.
Well, technically a year in. April will be.
Yeah.
A year, but
wow.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you're going into your second year.
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
That's even more impressive. That is awesome. How did those locations come to be? I mean, what was that journey like? I mean, clearly so much has happened in 1 year. Any major milestones or steps that you want to share that happened along the way as you reflect back on this past year?
Well, really the first big major step was when we ordered the bicycle cart, which if anybody gets a chance and sees us at an outdoor event or comes to Crabtree, we have it sitting outside the shop at Crabtree just to like attract attention. But it's a vintage bicycle ice cream cart.
Okay.
And that was our first real purchase that basically set everything else in motion. After that was in April. And then after that, we opened the shop at Crabtree, which actually came about a year before we planned on doing that. But it just happened that the opportunity was there. So we took it.
Yeah.
And between the two.
We're walking in the mall and we saw the sign that, hey, Lisa space.
Yep.
And I told you to call.
Yeah.
Just to ask for a price.
Just because we're curious.
Yeah, just to curious, what was the price and to have a shop there, right? And and the people like our idea or pro so much that they like, no, come over here, let me show you what we have.
Yeah, they immediately they're like, send us a business plan. I'm like, oh, yeah, we don't have a business plan. Okay.
Yeah, and at the beginning we was talking about thinking about get a kiosk.
Okay.
And the guys is like, no, a kiosk, no, you guys do better here. And they show us the spot where it was Lindt chocolate.
Okay, yeah.
And that's a whole store. And we're
right.
Like, oh, wow. Okay, all right, let's do this.
Yeah, that was part of our plan. It just wasn't part of our plan yet.
Right away, yeah.
What a crash course in running a business, right? Like,
yeah,
that's awesome. And
unexpected.
Definitely. And when opportunities like that come along, clearly you took that opportunity, right? Which is awesome. Prepared or not, you said, "Yep, we're doing it. We'll figure it out." That's awesome.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, whatever. We, all in.
Yeah. Exactly.
And by that time we are talking about our wedding, so we have the pressure of the wedding plus plus the business.
We actually got married. We had our wedding in our backyard.
Oh, nice.
And we got married the weekend before. No, 2 weekends before we opened at Crabtree.
Wow. Man, go you guys. I know what it was like to plan a wedding, and I can't even imagine doing that while opening a business. Yeah. That is awesome. Wow. I was thinking, I was like, how have I not seen you guys at Crabtree? But I bet my husband and I haven't even been to Crabtree because of the pandemic and COVID,
Yeah.
but we'll have to go there. We've been meaning to go for another reason. So we'll have to check it out next weekend. I can't wait to, yeah, I can't wait to see you guys. And so do you have a team now? It can't just be just you two, right?
Right now at Crabtree, we have a couple employees there that
Okay.
basically they hold it down for us there. They keep things
Right.
together. Because right now at South Point and Morgan Street, we had employees and now we don't. So I am primarily at Morgan Street and Christian is primarily at South Point. And
Okay.
right now we close both of those locations on Monday just for us to get a little bit of sanity.
Sure. Yeah.
Because that honestly, that's like our biggest challenge right now, just like everybody else, is finding employees. So
Okay.
we're just hoping when
Yeah.
it gets busier in the spring that we can get some people in place.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm still blown away that you guys have all these locations and you're going into your second year. I mean, you have to be so proud of what you've accomplished so far.
Yeah, nervous but proud.
Sure. Probably still in the thick of it, right? It's still
Yeah.
probably pretty hectic, but that's incredible. And is this your first business that you founded and are running, or do you have prior experience in that?
It's our first business together. Christian actually has his own pressure washing business, Rockets
Oh,
Pressure
okay.
Washing, that he's been doing for 4 or 5 years now. So he has some experience. I have management experience from previous job, but yeah, he has most of the business experience.
That's got to be helpful. Just
Oh yeah.
having some knowledge of how to open your own business. That's great that he has that experience. Also, reflecting still on this past year, what advice comes to mind for others who might be wanting to start that adventure of opening their business or are currently a small business owner? Any, top pieces of advice that come to mind?
I would say be prepared to give it every ounce of yourself, and especially if you're a husband and wife team or, whatever type of relationship or partnership you might have, just expect to disagree a lot and be able to get out of your own way and work through it together. And again, if it's a team partnership or whatever, always finding time for each other and your relationship, because that's really important. Like I said, right now we close Morgan and South Point on Mondays because we both work at each of those, and we need some time to find sanity for ourselves and some time to just do something for ourselves. I mean, like we literally, even I think it was probably in like September, I think. So we were still pretty busy. We ran away overnight to a hotel at the beach on a Monday. And we were gone less than 24 hours, but it was a break we needed. And you have to do what you can for yourselves, or you're not going to be able to run a business together. And one last little piece of advice is don't get into something like this to quit. I mean, you get into something like this, and it's like when you start college. You don't start college to quit.
It's hard work, no matter what business you try to open. Whatever people said that, hey, look, you can make money without doing nothing, that's not true. You have to work very hard for what you want and what you have. And always any opportunity you have, take it. Don't wait until last minute and say, hey, let me see, let me think about it. No, just do it. No matter we start this business with literally $3,500, $5,000.
Yeah, something like
And we working. She's quit her job. I almost quit my pressure washing business to put 100% time in this business, and we work very very hard. We hopefully one day we can retire from this, but yeah, every opportunity you have, just take it because you don't know if in the future you're gonna take it back. You're gonna have it.
Yeah, those are all really great pieces of advice. What I'm hearing is commit once you take that opportunity, which you're saying take that opportunity, commit to it. And when talking to other business owners, there's definitely that period where you are the business, right? You're doing the day-to-day, you're really running it. But once you build up that solid foundation, which you guys definitely are, then you can start to hire more people to take on those tasks, right? And you kind of move up the level of strategy or like pass on some of your responsibilities. So like you're saying, one day you can retire from it, but you have to put in that hard work in the beginning, and maybe for a long time, maybe for a short time, but you need to commit and put in the hard work. That's a very real
Right.
advice, and I appreciate that.
Talking about get opportunities,
Mhm.
like we opened Morgan and in South Point at the same time.
Mhm.
It's probably 1 or 2 weeks difference between both stores. We opened it without employees, without time.
Yeah.
So we take it. We call South Point, hey, we want, let me see what you have, rent the space, and let's see what happens. Maybe we're gonna make good money, or maybe not. If it's not make money, well, we close it and we find another
Right.
place. But we risk. That the thing is, if
Take a
you
chance.
if you want the hen, you have to risk the egg. You
Mhm.
know, that's pretty much the most important part of when you start a business. No, now if you have a wife or husband, make sure you find something like my wife. She support
Mhm.
me 100%. We working together. I never heard from her saying, "Oh no, I'm tired. I don't want to do it."
Yeah.
No, we both doing it. We both making it. And if I make a $1, is $1 that we expend together and we enjoy.
Mhm. So lovely. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, to your point, find that support system, have that support system, and take those risks. But also at the same time, right? I want to give credit to the fact that you guys are so passionate about your business and do have the plan and know where you want to go with it, what you want to do, right? So you have that balance of, yes, this is a risk, but also I understand the opportunity and I know where it could take me. I know what we need to do with it. So finding that balance, which it sounds like you guys have. But yeah, all really great pieces of advice. Those are awesome. Thinking of the future of Raleigh Popsicle Co., you mentioned getting more employees, staffing up your locations. Any other milestones you want to share that you have for the business or even for yourselves? It sounds like you're committed to this company, at least, for the near future, but any milestones you have planned or goals that you want to share?
Of course, we want to get known locally.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to get our name spread around, and it's really nice when somebody goes to Morgan Street and is like, "Hey, I saw you at Phillips Farm," or "Yeah, I go to Crabtree all the time," and stuff like that. So we want to continue to be better known, and we'd love to open a couple more shops, and particularly we'd like to have one standalone shop because right now each of our shops is in some sort of shopping center, and we'd like to have a standalone that's kind of like our flagship location, and maybe we have the bicycle cart that we use for the different events, and maybe we could add like a mobile unit, like a food truck kind of thing, so we could better serve outdoor venues and markets. That would be nice.
Yeah, I think those are great goals to have. And do you guys find that you sell more in the summer, the hot months than the winter, or is it about the same? I'm just curious.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, this was, it's been our first year, so this
Sure.
is our first time having the winter season, which is definitely considered the slow season. I mean, being in the malls has been good because through the holidays, like Thanksgiving to Christmas, even into
Mhm.
January a little bit, it's busy. So, people walking around the mall, take the jackets off, get hot, kids get
Yeah.
irritable, let's go have a snack.
Yeah.
So we managed to stay pretty busy through the holidays. And, now it's just getting through literally the winter, January and February.
Mhm.
And we now know that this is what our slow season is.
It's
And
part of
Sure.
then spring, summer, fall, all of that is the busy time. That's where we know we're going to be busy. We're going to be running all over the place. And that's going to be next year what helps us get through the slow season a little bit easier.
That makes sense. I mean, even it's nice you guys are in Raleigh, because even even in, January and February, we'll have that 50, 60 degree day. And even the cold days, I can always go for a popsicle, right? Like you can always go for ice cream or something cold and sweet. So I was just curious if you saw a huge difference. I'm sure, I expected that natural difference, but yeah, that makes sense.
Yesterday with the little bit of snow and everything, it was 30 degrees and we were busy.
Yeah, definitely.
We had a typical, actually, we had a Saturday more like what we were having in the fall.
Wow.
On a 30-degree day with a little bit of snow on the ground. So, I mean, yeah, people, want frozen treats all the time. Definitely see a difference between summer and winter.
That makes sense. I'm curious about the behind the scenes a little bit. Like, do you make the popsicles at each location, or do you guys make them and then bring them for the day? How does that process kind of work of making them?
Like, for example, Crabtree, we get this question all the time at Crabtree because there's a door in the back of the shop. So people just assume that we're making them back there. That door basically leads to a bathroom and a closet.
Okay.
So no, we don't make them at any of the locations because like Morgan and South Point, they're both kiosks. So there is no back of the store, So we actually make them, they're made at a shop locally. And then every week, Christian or I, or both of us, go and pick up, what each store needs and bring it to each location. So yeah, we make them locally, but not at the shops.
That's pretty impressive. Was it hard figuring out how to keep them frozen? I could imagine that's we'll just deliver them. But once you actually realize, oh, wait, we have to keep them frozen properly. Like, was that difficult or am I just thinking of it wrong?
You can make around 130 to 150 popsicles. You can freeze 150 popsicles in 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So you just, we keep it in freezers for one day. And after that, we can take it out. But they can last at least, 1 hour, 2 hours in the cooler.
Probably two.
Yeah, so they have enough time for me to drive around and deliver it to the shops.
Yeah, because when we're transporting them, we're transporting in one cooler. There's easily 300 in there.
Wow.
So they kind of keep each other cold.
Okay. Yeah. I love speaking to people like yourself who have just such a unique business. Like I would never think, a popsicle business, but here you are and all this stuff about popsicles. I just love that. I find that so fascinating. It's just something I never would have thought of that you guys do every day. It's your life. It's so normal to you.
Yeah, last summer we selling around 2,000 popsicles a week.
And that was with one shop.
And it's only one shop.
Wow.
Now with the other two shops and probably other festivals and places to go, and people know more about us and tell friends and family. So this year
we don't know where it's gonna go.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Or how we're gonna get it there.
We're gonna make it
figure it out.
I don't know how, but we're gonna make it happen.
Yep.
Exactly. I love your guys' mindset of just we'll figure it out. We know what we're doing, and if we don't, we'll figure it out. We'll get there. That's awesome. That's crazy. 2,000 popsicles a week. Wow. I can't even imagine that many popsicles.
Yeah, well, in Philly's Farm in the fall festival or how they call it?
They have a fall festival.
Yeah,
they have got rides and not rides, but activities.
Yeah, they have activities for kids. In one day, I sold 1,000 popsicles.
Wow.
From 9 o'clock in the morning until
4 or 5
o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. People said, why are we putting the popsicles? Because they get addicted to us.
Yeah, some people in the mall, like employees and stuff that work there, come back 2 or 3 times a day.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And it's such a nice, refreshing treat, like we said before. And also, you don't need like a bowl of ice cream. You need 2 hands. It gets messy. Like I feel like a popsicle is very easy to walk around the mall or walk around the outdoor festival and just munch on. It's like an easy treat to have.
And it's like it's refreshing and indulgent at the same time.
Right. Yeah.
Because for example, passion fruit or strawberry lemonade, they're kind of on the tart sour side.
Sure.
In the summertime at an outdoor event and it's hot,
Mm-hmm.
that is the best thing. That's like a cool glass of lemonade.
Yeah,
You just
exactly.
can't
Exactly.
stop.
That's why I think it's so smart. You mentioned going to more markets and stuff like that. I mean, that's like the perfect treat to have. And
Yeah.
even just thinking, comparing it to ice cream, like ice cream can get pretty heavy, right? And it melts so
Yep.
fast, but I'm imagining your popsicles are pretty light on your stomach.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, just more refreshing than heavy dairy.
Yep. Exactly.
Awesome. Great. Well, I'm gonna put it in my calendar and drag my husband to Crabtree next weekend. I'm very excited.
Definitely. Awesome.
Awesome. I did want to dive into, husband and wife running a business. Any other tips and tricks for trying to balance that? I liked your example of just going away to a hotel, even if it's for less than 24 hours. Like, just do it, right? If you need it, go. Any other things that you guys do to stay sane and stay together and not just running your business 24/7? Anything else come to mind?
I guess kind of a lot of things we already mentioned, but
Mm-hmm.
don't start something you're not willing to give your all. So, you have to make sure that your partner, kids, family, and everybody supports you. Your friends and family should be your biggest cheerleaders. It doesn't mean, financial support. They just have to they have to back you and, support you. And then, like you were saying, even if it's just a business-free dinner date at home or breakfast with your family or an 18-hour escape, you've got to make time for you. You can't, it can't be the business all the time because you're going to burn out if you do that. Opening a business, I mean, it's chaos anyway, but the first year especially. We always just keep saying, let's just get past whatever event's coming up or opening this location and we'll slow down a little bit. And then that time comes and goes and we're still going. You have to be able to expect ups and downs. And there's times for each of us when we get pessimistic about things. So when Christian gets frustrated sometimes with what's going on, my favorite thing to say is, it's okay. This is what we're doing. Let's just keep rolling. Just keep swimming, as they say in
Yeah.
And whenever I get frustrated or my pessimistic side starts to show, he somehow rallies and he's able to be the positive one and pull me back into place. It's constantly hard work, but it's better to work for yourself than for anybody else if you have that opportunity or take that opportunity.
You have to be ready to have long days, and more, because your wife and like my wife and I, with two different worlds, right? Our heads are total think different. So if I thinking about something, she probably sees something else, and we never gonna, sometimes we don't match on,
Sure.
We're not always on the same page.
Yeah, we know always on the same page, and I get mad or she get mad, but it's part of the show. It's like everything. But when you trust in the other person, you do everything. And you think, okay, if she said we should do it this way, is for a reason. Let's do this. Or she's and then said, you know what, let's do it your way and see what happens. Sometimes hard, but we're still here.
Yeah, and you have to be able to trust each other. That's really important too, because if there's no trust, I mean, even just in a relationship, if there's no trust, it's not going to work. But certainly in a relationship while running a business.
And I'm not sleeping on the couch yet, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, no, it sounds like you guys have such a solid relationship. Put the business aside, you guys balance each other out. You know how each other works. So now when you are entering this, new business, yes, of course, it's not perfect. There are going to be hard days, but you have that solid foundation of a relationship where you're able to benefit off of each other. And even when you fight, right, that's going to happen. That happens in every relationship, but you're just always able to see it through and come out on the right side. I really like what you guys have built, both, in your own relationship and the business you've built as well.
And something, very, very important, that, okay, you opening a business and the business is your baby.
Right.
But your wife is the person you love, and
Mm-hmm.
your wife is first than your business. So if you see that the business is ruining your marriage, you better quit and stay with your wife. It's business come and go, money go and come and go. But have somebody next to you is it costs a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
have the right person next to you. When I meet Nikki, and after a long time, I see on her how she take care of me, how she love me. That's where I decide to talk to her about this business, my dreams, and she helped me a lot to make it true. She didn't even ask me if, oh, you want me to do this? No, she just do it.
Mm.
And I told her about this, and when I realized, she's like, hey, look the freezers I found. And I'm like, holy cow, I just talk about you about the popsicles. Yeah, let's do it. And it's hard, but I'm very happy to have her with me
Mhm.
and be my partner, my friend, my wife, my girlfriend, everything.
Mhm.
He's got me all teary-eyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know I'm like grinning over here like crazy. That's so beautifully stated, and I love your guys' story. It's really awesome to see, and Christian, you definitely have your priorities straight, and everyone needs to listen to you because that's just a beautiful story, and yeah, thank you for sharing that.
No problem.
Thank you, babe. Sorry, I had to say that.
That's wonderful. Again, thank you guys for coming on here and sharing your story. And I love that we're talking as you're heading into almost your second year, and you are welcome back anytime to share updates, do a year update, do a 6-month update at your pace, do a 3-month update. But this was awesome. And the last question I ask all my guests, and of course would love to hear from both of you on this, is in this moment, what is your proudest accomplishment? And it can be your business or it can be on a completely different topic that we didn't even discuss. Just kind of that first thing that pops into your mind when I ask you what your proudest accomplishment is so far.
So I'm going to go on the personal side because the business itself is a proud accomplishment, but we're not accomplished, I don't think. So for me, after 2 little tiny years together, because literally we've been together just over 2 years, and all the crazy things that we've stuffed into that 2 years, for us still being able to say I love you and mean it, and knowing that finding Christian has been one of the top 3 things, because I have 2 daughters, one of the top 3
Okay.
things to happen in my life. Your
You're
turn.
very
My
sweet.
time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Try
I
to
don't
top that.
know. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of things
Mhm.
that
Proud of.
I'm proud of what I do. First one of them is come to this wonderful country. And live in this awesome state. North Carolina. I live in here for 22 years,
Wow.
and I love it. I think I live more time in North Carolina than in my own country. And but if it's not because this wonderful country, I probably in my country doing something else. At least here, I this is my second business. I used to be bartending, be a waiter, construction, roofing. I do a lot of different types of jobs, but come to this country, have my own businesses that they're my babies. My wife, meet her, meet her daughters that get me crazy sometimes, but I still love them. You know, I think that's the most important things I have in my life. And my son, he born in Justin County. Uh, he's 17. I love him. To that he's my mini me, and he's my mini me, and he's taller than me. Uh, but I try to teach him, how life, that nothing is easy. And he saw me every day working, doing pressure washing, doing gutter cleaning. He saw me carrying the popsicles, going to events, going to the malls, and hopefully something of all that hard work stay in his head, at the same of Nikki's daughters, hopefully they keep something in their heads and say, look, these two guys, they're working hard, make people happy, kids happy, and they still together, I think that's my main accomplishment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that is so wonderful. And again, congratulations on everything you've accomplished so far, from the business to meeting each other to being parents. I mean, it's all so, so incredible. And I really appreciate you sharing your stories and perspectives on the podcast. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having us. This was great.
Perfect. I'm glad. And before we officially sign off, where can the audience find you and Raleigh Popsicle Co., your social medias or your website? Shout anything out that you want to.
Well, like I mentioned earlier, the 3 locations, Crabtree, Morgan Street, Food Hall, and Streets at South Point, and all the other outside events we do. But to keep up with wherever we are, our website is RaleighPopsicleCo.com. Our Instagram is Raleigh Pop Co. And our Facebook is just Raleigh Popsicle Co. And, we generally try to post on there. Like during the busy season, I post on Instagram where we're going to be that weekend, and I make sure to post it on Facebook. And we love when customers tag us in their pictures or their stories, because as soon as they tag us in their story, I add it to our story and, keep it going.
Awesome. Well, again, I hope everyone checks you guys out. I'll be there next weekend. And thank you so much for coming on Virtual Coffee.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We can't wait to hear it.
Thank you.